Welcome, listeners, to Doing Divorce Different. I am so excited today, truly very energized to have my friend Brian Burns back on the podcast. Brian, it makes me feel like I'm really back. I feel like I took a little break from
Wow.
a
Yeah.
lot of divorce work, and I've been doing this a while, but you're kind of the first of many great interviews to come up solely about divorce and helping women through it. So I'm just grateful to have you. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for that warm welcome. I'm happy to be back after the brief hiatus, and it has been a while. So
Yeah.
this is fun. I think I should change my title on the screen here to say Brian Burns the first.
There you go.
Actually, I like that. I'm not sure I believe it, but I do like it.
No, it's true. There is like something that's kind of a turning point. I've been slowly ebbing my way to really getting back into this work. And I feel like today is a big day towards that. So
Yeah. Well,
it's
good
kind
for
of
you.
exciting. Yeah. So, listeners, if you don't know Brian, he's been on podcasts in the past and he's like my favorite therapist. Right, and if you're wondering, why am I here today? It's because I want to talk, Brian, about spinning out. And I actually had a divorce coaching client asking me, how do I stop spinning out about my ex-husband? And so
Mm.
I look at that and I think it applies to everything. I mean, I can spin out about health issues, about money, about anything. So
Yeah, yeah.
kind of what I want to talk about. And I think
Okay.
when you've got an ex-spouse and maybe there's betrayal or you don't know what happened. Um, Maybe there's a little more to it. So would you mind just kind of talking about tools?
Sure, sure. To well, just the context for people that maybe don't know me. I'm a marriage and family therapist. Most of my and I've been doing this work for 25. I graduated from grad school in 2000, so it's easy to do the math.
Yeah.
26 years. And most of my work is with couples who are on the brink of divorce. I do what's called discernment counseling, helping people on the brink to make a decision about the next steps in their marriage.
Mhm.
And those that choose to repair together, we work hard, we dig in and make the right changes. And those that choose to separate or divorce for their own good reasons, I help set them up in a collaborative, respectful, effective
Mhm.
process. uh, so that's sort of me from a 30,000-foot view.
And
Back to your
I'm very glad that you brought that up, Brian, not to
yeah.
interrupt you because we're gonna go back to our topic, but a
Yeah.
lot of our listeners, that is always the big question. How do I know if it's time to divorce? I mean, I've got people that come to me when they're ready, and I have people when they're like, "Ooh, I have one right now, a gal out in California, she's trying to make that
Mhm.
decision." So, I send people to you all the time to
Well,
work.
yeah, if you haven't posted something on discernment counseling recently, then get that on your queue,
Yeah.
because I think that you won't. It's not a guarantee that you'll know the right time to work on it still or not, but it's a really effective tool. So listeners, if you haven't heard that term, it's easily searchable on Google and AI to find out more.
Yeah.
Discernment counseling.
Yep, and I will have you in the show notes as well, so people can just click there to
Yeah.
find. Yeah, and you're
Yep.
easy to find,
You go
so
to my website. I've got information about it and links to find out more. So that's great.
wonderful. Okay, so good. Okay, so once
Spinning out.
the spinning out. Let's talk about spinning out. Spinning out over someone cheating on you. Spinning out
So this
over
isn't, yeah. So this just isn't just specific for a divorcing person or divorced person,
yeah,
obsessing about their. I say obsessing. I mean, when I hear spinning out, it's like my emotions got control of me, hijacked my brain, and I just can't keep thoughts of X
yep,
from not invading my current reality. So that could be an ex-husband or ex-spouse, or it could be your kid and the trouble they're in or the problem they're having, or um infidelity. Could be anything.
Yep.
Yeah. And so differentiating feelings from fact and differentiating what's one's own business to deal with and what's someone else's business to deal with. I think that those are two key mantras or phrases that work for me and for clients that I work with. And I'll tell you what I mean about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Go deeper there because when you say that, I question like, okay, what do you mean? What's my business?
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's provocative language potentially. Like if your spouse is cheating on you,
It's your
um,
business.
definitely, definitely your business.
Yeah.
To know about that. But here's what I mean, and I'll start there because that's, got the attention here, is that what I mean by my business versus your business is what is my business? What do I have control over? What are my thoughts that happen in my brain?
Mhm.
Versus what do you have control over? And what do are the thoughts that happen in your brain? And there's a clear line that's not hard for rational people to differentiate, where that line is. Because skin exists to demarcate that line, what I have control over and what I don't have control over and what my thoughts are versus someone else. And so, this is an example that I think could easily happen daily and probably did earlier in my career. I'm a young therapist sitting in front of a tough couple and they're arguing and I'm unable to do or say anything that derails that argument. I mean, that feels horrible.
Mhm.
And I think I remember these days well enough that I would spin out, to use that language, afterwards, in the evening thinking,
Yeah.
"Man, you're so stupid. Like, did you learn anything in grad school? Why are they even seeing you? They probably will fire you after that meeting. Or you're probably in the wrong job and you should have
Oh,
been, a truck driver because they don't have to talk to anybody."
right.
Like that's kind of an example of spinning out. And what I did is that I made it my responsibility that they were having an argument. I
Right.
took on that job of something that I don't have any control over whether or not someone else argues. I have control over what I say or what I do, but I don't have any responsibility there. So it's really not my business, is
Mhm.
what I'm saying. Um, Here's another example, or using the same example. How they think about me as a therapist, not my business.
Mhm.
If they choose to tell me how they think about me, well, then it becomes my business.
Mhm.
They made that autonomous choice. If your ex-spouse chooses to share something with you, then that becomes your business to deal with. But if they're not saying a thing, you thinking about it, what they're thinking, what they're doing, what they think about you now, not your business.
Yep.
And even if it were, you'd have to figure out what you could do about it or not. And
Right.
in most cases, you don't even know.
Yeah, and it's interesting what I've learned in my life is there's not a whole heck of a lot that I have control over,
No,
and
no,
it's kind of freeing.
it's total. Well, I love this phrase, not my circus, not my monkeys. It's just fun to say.
Oh, yes.
And that's the thing. Like and what I mean is that's not my business.
Yeah.
Not my business to deal with, not my business to change. Um, that person can try to make it my business. And if I love and care about them, then I might take it on, because I care. But uh if I can't, even if I love and care about them, then I shouldn't. And if I don't want them in my life or they're not that important to me, then I definitely don't want to make it my business
Right.
or take it on or spend any, like thoughts that invade my mind. Cause that's what it is, like
Mhm.
thought invasion. When we're just not in good control of, because nobody can control the thoughts that pop in your mind or the feelings that you feel, but you can choose what you do with them, what you do about them, and whether or not they stay there.
Yeah, I love what you're saying because it through my journey, I kinda ebb and flow, and it takes work. Like, I learned a big surrender, and now I have to keep remembering that every day because I am a people pleaser, and I might start spinning out about, "Oh, I wonder what they think of me," and then I go, "Whoa, not
Yeah.
not mine. I'm a vessel here to do my work,
Yeah.
and that's it, and I need to let that
Um,
go." But I wanna talk a little bit because I think about, like, some clients that I have, and the one of the spouses betrayed through a lie, not necessarily an affair, but betrayed the other spouse, and then came clean after years of the betrayal. And the husband is the spouse that feels betrayed, and he cannot stop thinking and asking questions about something that happened well before they were together, but that's something that she had lied about, right?
yeah.
He and the wife is sorry, has
Okay.
forgiven herself,
Okay.
and wants to move on, and
Okay.
doesn't wanna keep going back, and sometimes it does seem a little bit like the husband wants to shame,
Punish.
maybe a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
So and yet I always see both sides, like, I kinda feel sorry for him too, and it's like he cannot stop looking. He's not trusting anything that
Yeah.
she's saying even now,
Yeah.
looking and digging and just doesn't stop thinking about it, and it's been over a year.
So, what you described, and there's a lot of not knowing the context, but but just based on what you've described, that's one spouse who very likely has had the chance to ask the questions and fully understand the nature of what happened, the nature of the betrayal, understand what it was, why it happened, why she did what she did, what she learned from it, how it impacted her, and what she thinks about it now. Like that's the important thing to understand about a betrayal, because then you can know what to do about it. If
Okay,
you
so interestingly enough, it seems as though when I've worked with them, because I do marital mediation too sometimes, that she is stating this, and he's kinda not willing to see it. He's kind
so
of not going there,
okay,
not
so
understanding
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And what is he? Well, um, so like uh, that those are the things one spouse would need to understand, to get information, to ask questions. I mean, that's what you're looking for, is the data, the important data, so that you can decide what to do about this betrayal. Because some betrayals, you might just, with all the right information, you might decide to end the relationship. Many others, we decide to
Yes.
understand what that means and what to do about it, and it ends up strengthening the relationship. What this spouse seems, and people can ask questions and want different things. He's asking questions to keep her down, to punish,
Yeah.
to keep her in a position below him. So that, and I'm not saying intentionally, like this
Mhm.
is things that people do intuitively without even knowing that that's what they're really doing. So it's a punishment, like maybe in his childhood, nobody ever let things go. So it's like, this is what you do. And so when you have something over someone, you keep them down through bringing it up again and punishing them. Cause then I don't really have to deal with the pain of having been a person that stays in a relationship where there's been a betrayal. I mean, in my mind, there's no shame in that. Like
Well,
there's great strength.
yeah, this
That's
is
something that people tell themselves.
right. This is interesting too. There was a betrayal on his part early on that he admits he would have never told her, but she found out through other means. And and it was a long time ago. And so when asked why did that happen? I don't know.
So not willing to answer, or able,
Not willing or able.
to
Yeah.
answer the same
Mm,
kinds of questions about what, why,
yeah.
and what to do about it. Yeah, the why question. It's so important to know how to handle a betrayal, is to understand the why. It's actually much more important to understand the why than the what. in my work.
Okay, I
Um,
love that. I
I don't
love
really
that, Brian.
per-
Yeah.
personally. I mean, I know spouses care a lot, but I don't really care. How many times they did it, or where, or in what positions. I know other people care a lot about that,
Yes.
but I really want to know why and what he was going for, or she, and
Yeah.
did he get it, or she, in that situation, and what do we
Yeah.
do about it? That's what I want to know. And often they will say, I don't know.
So
Just
then what do you do from there?
it's not that's not true. It's not an acceptable answer. Like, how do you expect us to heal and move forward if that's the best that you can do? And I don't say that in quite such a shaming way. I
Right.
I would say, like, if that's the best answer, if you really don't know, then you really don't know. Can't force you to know something you don't know. But would you be willing to dig deeper?
Right.
Because I don't know that answer will lead to healing. That will lead to you staying exactly where you are in this relationship, which is a place of pain.
Yeah. So that's so good, and that's so helpful when you're kinda working together and staying in that marriage.
Mhm.
Now let's go to
Yeah.
couple B.
Yeah.
And it's actually not couple B because the other one's gone. The other one spouse is gone, and they've betrayed the other spouse. Let's just say the woman was betrayed, not that that's
Okay.
always the case. So she was betrayed.
Yep.
He's gone. He doesn't wanna stay married, and she is spinning out. My words, spinning out, and she doesn't want to. She doesn't wanna think about it. She feels kinda stupid that she
Yeah.
let it happen,
Totally.
which I am like, "What? That's not," you of course you
Well,
trust your spouse.
well, culturally, like we
Yeah.
feel like we're the stupid ones when someone betrays us.
Mhm.
Not true, but that's a normal feeling.
Yeah. Yep, yep. So how do we help someone who's going through that? So I think, and I always think it's kind of a betrayal even when someone hasn't maybe had an affair, but they're done with the marriage and they
Well,
don't give a reason. And
there's lots of ways we can betray
yes,
our vows. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, like, infidelity is just the big one, the word, like, considered the worst, but no, like, we lots of ways.
Yeah. Well, and I just have to say, this is so interesting. Have you read the book Strangers?
No.
Called Strangers. Oprah had the author on, and it was about a woman whose husband left her. And she had three pretty grown children, and she doesn't know why.
Mhm.
And she kinda spun out and she has to live with that. So how does somebody, and she just kind of told her story, but she didn't give any advice on, "Oh, how are you going to," just I guess
So
you can't control it. Is
so
that it?
she had 3 adult children and didn't
Well, they're
know.
not adults.
That's
They're
okay,
older.
3 children that didn't know why she
And he
had 3?
wouldn't well, she knew he had an affair. I think it's called Strangers. I'll correct this in the intro if I'm wrong.
Oh, like, she wasn't the biological mother?
Oh, she is. She's the mother, he's the father, they've been married forever, okay? And she thinks their marriage is going great. And all of a sudden during COVID, she finds out that he's cheating on her. The husband of the other woman calls her and she tells him, and he said, "Oh, it was just a one-time thing." And then the affair woman tried to commit suicide, the other lady, not the one that wrote the book, and the guy just decides right then and there he's done with the marriage and he leaves her, and she doesn't know why, and she spun out for
Oh,
years
okay.
about what was wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
she thought they had
Yeah.
such a great marriage, and she doesn't know why, and so when you say when you're working together to stay with someone,
Yeah.
knowing the why is so important, but what if that person's gone and they're not gonna tell you why?
Yeah, not, like, uh, my hunch, I don't know if this is right, but it's a self-esteem problem. It's that this person that you're using as an example feels like, if I just knew why, if I had answers, if I could answer that question, I would know what it was that I was wrong about me, that I could
Yes.
do better
Yes.
and not have this happen to me again, because this is horrible.
Mhm.
And that's It's a not answerable question, and it indicates probably a self-esteem problem. So if I would say to her, that sucks, that you are with somebody who either by choice or ability was unable to give you information that you deserve to have and would have been very helpful to you.
Mhm.
But that's a self-esteem problem on his side that he either couldn't or wouldn't, worse, wouldn't
Yeah.
share with you this important information. And that's on him, like that's a failing of his, which to me vindicates you even more. Like
Mhm.
you can walk away from this marriage knowing that there's nothing that I can learn from this other than life can be shitty and you throw you curveballs sometimes and you
Yeah.
know it's happening. And you don't need the answers that you're looking for to be a happy, healthy, good person. You don't need those answers from him because he's already revealed to you that they're not trustworthy in the first place.
Right.
It's a corrupted vessel
Mhm.
that you're getting it from. And so making that your business to know, he's not either able or willing. So that's
Right.
his business. Leave it with him.
Okay.
His problem to deal with, his circus and his monkeys.
Yes. And so that all makes complete sense. And it's interesting, Brian, because I'm just going to bring my own little story into this. So, I mean, I'm a life coach too, right? So I'm all about mindset. And I felt like I had things so figured out where I'd go, oh, is that true? What I'm thinking, I mean, I would just go through and question things and be able to kind of tame my mind and maybe let things go by changing the stories in my head. And then when they caught that stage 1 breast cancer, holy Catalina, I like I'm like, I can't say I didn't even do coaching, my own coaching for probably a year. I just walked my trails.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing that's interesting. Like it's great. Like I love being able to look at how I'm feeling and try to change it. But sometimes, and I feel like when someone leaves you, when you get diagnosed with something happens to your child. I mean, those are big moments where you're like how and I guess like advice that you jump in with your advice. Here's advice that I've gotten is breathe and like move your body. And because you
Yeah.
kind of can't and and then we talked before too about that's where I learned the surrender, the letting it go because it was such an eye opener because I thought I was so healthy. I had everything figured out. I was doing everything I could. And yet I don't have control over everything.
No.
Enjoy your freaking life.
Yeah.
Be as healthy as you can. Have fun.
Yeah.
Love people and then let her go
Yeah.
but it's hard to do. It's hard to get there. And I had to go through something really hard to get there. And I don't want everyone to have to go through that hard.
Well, I think we all sooner or later go through,
Yeah.
stuff where our old coping strategies just aren't sufficient. And then it sounds like that happened to you.
Uh-huh.
And good for you for having the wherewithal to go on a lot of walks. Just move. Because
Yeah.
yeah, you can't fix that. And you certainly can't feel good about it.
No,
Uh,
well, that was the thing that was so interesting, Brian, is I learned how to be patient
Yeah.
affliction. And there's a Bible verse about that. I just was patient. I had hope. I had great hope. That was the thing. Like everyone was like,
Sure.
you're fine. You're gonna be fine. It's cute. You know what I mean? But it was kind of this waiting and not feeling great, but there was a weird peace that came in that waiting by holding on to that hope. And I guess that's what I can give you. If someone has betrayed you or left you and you're spinning out in that, yep, it's going to suck. You're going to just have to be patient in that affliction and keep hoping. Keep remembering that there's still hope. You
Yeah.
still can have a great
Yeah.
relationship. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, what people tend to do that these coping strategies that work for a time, or sometimes a long time, work harder, keep yourself busy, dive into a project, get love from your spouse or your parent or your kids,
Mhm.
um, you know, drink a lot because like that, that can help get you through a tough day. I'm not going to say it's 100% evil. There's consequences, but
Yes.
like, um, but what you're talking about, uh, a serious illness, a divorce, a serious betrayal. I mean, those are things that you can't work your way out of. And so what you do, I think, is to be honest that there's nothing you can do to control this or fix it. And feeling bad about it is exactly the right way to feel. Like if
Right.
you didn't grieve or feel pain or feel fear, then you're a robot or like someone brainwashed you out of those feelings. So that
Right.
would be that, and that wouldn't be wanted. So to not only accept that this is how you feel, like I'm maybe pushing the boundaries here a little, like be grateful that you're human and that you can respond with all of the range of human emotions. And then, as you say, Lisa, be patient with yourself that these things take time and that, just because you feel horrible, pain, fear, sadness, grief, whatever it is, that you won't feel that way always.
Right.
And that's hope. That's you're instilling hope. I feel that way now, but I won't feel that way always. I may feel that way tomorrow. I may feel that way a month from now, but
Mhm.
a year from now, I don't know. I might feel actually very different. I might feel good. I was working once with a guy. Your example reminded me of this, and his wife cheated on him, and I think they mutually decided to divorce, but he was devastated. Like it was his second marriage, put a ton of emotional investment in
Yep.
this one working, had children, you know, very intentionally through IVF, knowing that he could count on the relationship, and then that happened. It's just devastating.
Yeah.
And what he did was he listened to the same song on Spotify. I don't remember Raindrops. The song popped into my head. So look this
Raindrops
up.
falling on my head. That
No, it's like well, this podcast episode sponsored by the song Raindrops on Spotify. It's a instrumental. It's a little instrumental with like synthesized music, probably.
Uh-huh.
No words, very repetitive, soothing. Um, and he listened to that constantly. He said he just couldn't stop because it helped his brain not spin. He would work out, take care of his kids,
Yep.
go to his job, talk to friends when he could, and then listen to this song in his earbuds. He said his kids just learned to know, yep, dad's listening to Raindrops.
Oh,
That's how he got through a period of about 6 to 10 months that were very, very difficult. But today, he's, not doing that. I don't think he's listened to Raindrops in,
uh-huh.
and he
Right.
has a very, very, very good life. I think he would agree with me.
Yes.
Um,
And I think when you go through that hard stuff, my life is better. I've learned to, and it's interesting. I will say one thing. I did take care of myself. It became my number one priority, and I did amazing through all the treatment because I just focused on resting and walking and working out as much as I could and doing all the things. And even though I felt a little bit of a scared dullness in me. So, but here was another thing. I'm just going off here now on my little story on a
It's your
tangent.
podcast. You can do whatever you want.
Alright. So, at the same time that that happened to me, a friend of mine we thought was going through the same thing. We thought, oh, it's stage one. It's going to be, you're going to have to go through junk, but it's going to be fine. Well, as it turned out for her, it was stage four. It was a different story.
Okay.
And mine, like, I feel kind of like almost Like, I didn't have the right to feel that bad about it because everybody kept saying, "This is nothing. We've got this. It's cured." Don't and she doesn't get to hear that. She still is
Uh,
living with
yeah,
it's her number one priority.
a more
How do
serious
you
illness.
deal with
Yeah.
that? How do people deal with that? And I know I talked to the oncologist about it, and she said, "You would be surprised, Lisa, a lot," and this is interesting to me, a lot of women can live years with this
Okay.
cancer
Yeah.
and do great. But just to think, I feel so blessed that I didn't have to go through that, maybe a little guilty that she
Sure.
is.
Sure.
And, I just don't know how you deal with something like that because I had hope. Where's her hope?
It's the same. I don't think it's different. It's just
Right.
it's harder. Yeah. Well, your question about hope, and thanks for bringing that up again. I think it's crucial. This is something religion does very, very well. Religion doesn't do everything well, but I think it does hope very, very well in giving something greater than oneself to place your hope in. So if you don't have something in your life that is bigger than you, and it doesn't have to be religion, it can or your form of God. It could be your family.
Mhm.
It could be your flower garden. It
Yeah.
could be getting up in the morning and being alive is a humanistic approach. Um, like something that uh, you that strengthens you, as a foundation that you stand on. I think that's crucial. But the recipe is the same. Like you get up every day and you accept what you have to deal with in that day that you can't control. It's
Yeah.
the serenity prayer. Just this morning, I learned from a couple that I'm working with in their early 60s that he was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, which isn't a death sentence.
No.
But it is learning, from one day to the next that you may never ever again have an erection
Right.
or build, muscle, or, be able to do the things that you used to be able to do that required testosterone to be present in your body. So, that's a death sentence to certain aspects of your life that are
Right.
fairly important. And what is a person that is paralyzed from the neck down
Yeah.
do one day to the next? Well, you can give up, and that is a viable. I mean,
Mhm.
we can choose to do that. I'm not going to judge someone, um, although I'd be deeply sad, and wish that they made a different choice. But you get up the next day and you go through the motions that you're able to, which are limited by your, outside of your choice, and have hope in what's in there's a reason I'm doing this.
Yes.
It's not just because I have to, it's because I choose to, because there's a reason, either God or my family or my dog or my flowers, or that there's gonna be a blue day after 2 weeks of clouds. Like that's just um science or life experience tells me that's true. You won't always feel tomorrow how you feel today.
Right.
I mean, take that to the bank. If you don't want to feel a certain feeling, but you can't get rid of it, accept that and go through the motions and have hope that you will not feel that feeling forever in the same way.
And
And I promise you that is true.
it is true. And I love that. That's so true because there does come a point when that coaching comes in and you can surrender it. You can let it go at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Just
It won't stay with you
a
forever.
little while.
Mhm. Some events evoke strong feelings and they take a long time.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And some are a lifetime, let's be honest. Some events affect the rest of your life and you grieve forever. But that doesn't mean it takes away the parts of your life that are good and that you enjoy and that bring you happiness. And over time, if you want to, the grief does change. People describe it as fading or becoming more dull and less sharp edges, less clear edges, and just sort of in the background.
Yeah.
but not heavy or sharp the same way that it was in the beginning.
Yeah. It's interesting that you're talking about grief because the podcast episode coming out next after you, the week
Mhm.
after you, is with a woman who's a widow. And
Mm.
she talk a little bit about grief and a little bit about other stuff too in
Sure,
the
sure.
but yeah, so it's probably I've been blabbing a lot, but I'm so thankful for you, Brian. We've gone just a little bit over
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
But, I so appreciate you, and I would love to have you back because I love chatting with you, and I just hope that people listening out there are going to get something that's going to just help them have a better life.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm happy to talk to you too. This has been a rich discussion. I like talking about these topics, so thanks for initiating this.
Yeah, yes, I'm so happy. Thanks so much for being here, Brian. We'll see you soon.
All right, take good care.
You too.